Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nurul Ayyuuni binti Azmi from Politeknik Sultan Mizan, Zainal Abidin, Terengganu, Malaysia. Today I'm going to present my research paper entitled Speaking Anxiety Among ESL Learners, a comparative study between electrical engineering and digital technology students. I hope this paper will give a new valuable insights, especially to those involved in polytechnic education. For this presentation, I will focus on these 5 sections, which are introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion. Let me begin with the introduction of the study. Industries have raised multiple concerns over the quality of graduates that are produced today. A serious issue arises when graduates encounter inadequate English language ability in their area of expertise. Poor English competency among TVET students can be caused by many factors. One of the major causes that is recognized to have a significant impact on language learning and acquisition is anxiety. Speaking is seen to be the most anxiety-inducing skill compared to other skills like writing, listening, and reading. This notion is supported by Young 1990, Anudin et al. 2022, and Min and Ngoc 2023. Hence, this study will specifically examine speaking anxiety as a key component that contributes to poor proficiency in the English language. In addition, based on the Polytechnic curriculum documents, there are some differences in the syllabus for electrical engineering and digital technology programs. One of them is the number of compulsory English courses that students are required to take throughout their 3-year diploma studies. For electrical engineering programs, students are obligated to take 3 courses of English subjects, while digital technology students only take 1 English course. Thus, the objectives of this study are 1. To find out any significant difference in the causes of speaking anxiety, specifically fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension between the electrical engineering and digital technology students. 2. To examine the relationship between fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension. And 3. To investigate whether there is a notable difference in the students' level of speaking anxiety between these 2 programs. For literature review, I will briefly explain the speaking anxiety, understanding the causes of speaking anxiety, and the exposure to the target language. The first part is about speaking anxiety. Horwitz et al. 1986 defined language anxiety as a complex of self-perceptions, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that develop from the uniqueness of the language learning process in the classroom. Speaking anxiety greatly disrupts the communication abilities of ESL learners. Horwitz 2001 and Garduano 2023 have identified a strong correlation between linguistic anxiety and the acquisition of English. In addition, Ramaro and Hassan 2021 stated that students' academic level influences their speaking anxiety. Thus, students who have low English proficiency seem to experience higher speaking anxiety compared to high proficiency students. Moreover, students who feel anxious tend to stop their language learning at the first chance they get, or choose not to use the language even when presented with the opportunity. Gregerson and Horwitz 2002 and Zulfikar 2022. The second part is understanding the causes of speaking anxiety. There are various causes of speaking anxiety, including personal characteristics, perceptions about language learning, the dynamics of teacher-student interactions, and more. However, the study will focus on 3 categories of foreign language anxiety that were identified as essential theoretical frameworks by Horwitz et al. 1986, which are communication apprehension, fear of negative evaluation, and test anxiety. Initially, communication apprehension means a learner's concern or fear in association with real or predicted communication with other people. The second cause is fear of negative evaluation, which was defined by Horwitz et al. 1986 as the apprehension of being judged or evaluated negatively by others. Lastly, test anxiety is the inclination to evaluate an individual's performance in assessment settings. Research by Reyes 2022 demonstrated that test anxiety can hinder the achievement of low proficiency learners and increase their anxiety in assessment contexts. The third part is the exposure to the target language. A study by Bass and Oskan 2018 found that students' educational status significantly influenced their language anxiety. The study discovered that high school students have higher anxiety level than university students who have much more exposure to the English language. Latif 2015 and Karatas et al. 2016 discovered a significant relationship between language anxiety and the duration of English learning, which is the students who spend more years on English learning have a positive impact on their language anxiety. However, there are studies that found that exposure to a second language does not notably affect the speaking anxiety of ESL students. Binusa 2023 argued that speaking anxiety is a complicated issue that can be triggered by several factors. It is also maybe more closely linked to individual psychological aspects or personal characteristics contrary to the experience of learning a foreign language. Young 1990, Prativi and Mukhoya 2020, and Suparia et al. 2022. To administer the study, the quantitative descriptive approach was used. A total of 50 participants took part in the study, with 25 students were from the electrical engineering program and another 25 students were from the digital technology program. 18 items from 33 items of the Foreign Language Classroom Anxiety Scale, or FLCAS, by Horwitz et al. 1986 were adapted to assess the elements determining participants' speaking anxiety level. The next section is results and discussion. First, I will present about the respondents' demography. According to Figure 1, the respondents who participated in the study consisted of 50% or 25 respondents from the electrical engineering program and another 50% or 25 respondents from the digital technology program. The number of students from both programs was similar to ensure an objective comparison can be derived for the study. There are unequal numbers of respondents based on the genders. From Figure 2, it can be seen that the electrical engineering program has more male respondents, which is 76%, than female respondents, which is 24%. Meanwhile, the majority of respondents from the digital technology program is female, with 56%, and only 44% is male. Next, we will look at the results for fear of negative evaluation between electrical engineering and digital technology students. From Table 1, it is discovered that the electrical engineering students scored mean 2.4756 and standard deviation 0.37614, and digital technology students recorded M 2.5022 and standard deviation 0.57746. It means that most of the students agreed that they experience fear of negative evaluation when speaking English as a second language. Thus, this finding supports numerous studies that have found that fear of negative evaluation is one of the major causes of speaking anxiety among ESL students. Chang et al. 1999, Dewell 2013, and Plantica and Adnan 2021. Table 1 also presents a comparison of the fear of negative evaluation between electrical engineering and digital technology students. The results reveal that there is no significant difference in fear of negative evaluation between electrical engineering and digital technology students, since the t-test showed 0.847, where p is less than 0.05. It can be concluded that even though digital technology students obtained a much lesser duration of formal English exposure than electrical engineering students, they have almost the same degree of fear of negative evaluation, which caused them to have speaking anxiety. These students tend to become anxious, especially when they are unable to make enough preparation for a question or task in the target language. Binusa 2023 argued that these students constantly think that when they make mistakes in front of their friends will judge them negatively or make fun of them. Consequently, these thoughts and feelings make them afraid to speak a foreign language. Table 2 presents the findings for communication apprehension. The results show that electrical engineering students scored mean 2.5422 and standard deviation 0.42591, and digital technology students recorded mean 2.5289 and standard deviation 0.58380. Hence, it is confirmed that communication apprehension is one of the factors that cause the majority of the students to suffer from speaking anxiety. It validates the results from many previous studies that communication apprehension is a major issue. Miscam and Zainal 2019 and Basri et al. 2020 discovered most of the learners encounter communication apprehension when they need to use the target language in front of other people, and this obstructs their speaking ability. Table 2 also represents a comparison of communication apprehension between electrical engineering and digital technology students. the results showed no significant difference in communication apprehension between electrical engineering and digital technology students, since the t-test results was 0.927, where p is less than 0.05. Hence, it can be inferred that the students from both programs have a nearly similar degree of communication apprehension, although their duration of exposure to formal English learning was varied. Tobot and Sang 2018 confirmed this discovery by asserting that anxious students constantly doubt their own competencies despite possessing sufficient knowledge. This lack of self-assurance may impede their ability to communicate effectively, since they perceive themselves as incapable of managing the situation. A Pearson correlation analysis was carried out to see the relationship between fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension among the students from both programs. The results in Table 3 showed a very strong and statistically significant positive correlation between these variables, R 0.839, where P is less than 0.01. Thus, it can be deduced that when ESL learners have speaking anxiety caused by fear of negative evaluation, they most probably suffer from communication apprehension too. This finding affirms the study by Manan et al. 2023, who asserted that fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension are interrelated. Students who suffer from speaking anxiety are highly aware of how their peers and teachers see them. Moreover, Ayyuuni et al. 2019 stated that the fear of being judged negatively is a major contributor to communication apprehension among international postgraduate students studying English as a foreign language. We will look at the findings for the difference in speaking anxiety level between the electrical engineering and digital technology students. But first, we will look at the anxiety level for both programs. It can be seen from Figure 3, the majority of the respondents from the electrical engineering and digital technology programs have a moderate speaking anxiety level, which are 76% and 64% respectively. Besides that, the percentage of digital technology students, which is 28%, who have a low anxiety level is higher than those of electrical engineering students, with 24%. However, only digital technology program has 8% high speaking anxiety students, while none of the electrical engineering students have a high anxiety level. The test was run to evaluate the difference in speaking anxiety level between electrical engineering and digital technology programs, and the results show there is no significant difference in speaking anxiety level between the two programs, where T is 0.783, P is less than 0.05. Thus, it can be concluded that the level of speaking anxiety of electrical engineering and digital technology students is more or less the same. Perhaps this is because, although a few students from the digital technology program suffer from high anxiety level, this program has more low speaking anxiety students compared to the electrical engineering program. The students' speaking anxiety level may not be directly influenced by the duration of exposure to the English language, but by other factors. Besides, many recent studies have explored innovative approaches to alleviate speaking anxiety among ESL students. One of them is a study by Mizan et al. 2020, who suggested using video blogs to reduce public speaking anxiety, and Ibrahim and Hashim proposed the use of authentic video conferencing in addressing speaking anxiety among ESL learners. In addition, a study by Bosket and IT in 2023 emphasized the importance of creating supportive learning environments to lessen speaking anxiety. Hence, it can be concluded that the duration of exposure of formal English learning does not have a significant effect on students' speaking anxiety. As a conclusion, it can be inferred that there is no significant difference in the fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension, as well as the speaking anxiety level between electrical engineering and digital technology students, despite their dissimilar duration of exposure to formal English learning during their diploma studies. Consequently, it is believed that the period of learning English is not a major factor in influencing one's speaking anxiety, and the longer period of formal second language learning may not be a beneficial method to help the students alleviate their speaking anxiety. Besides that, the study found a strong connection between fear of negative evaluation and communication apprehension, which caused speaking anxiety among the students. Therefore, additional investigation should be undertaken to examine alternative factors contributing to this poor speaking performance and identify constructive strategies to enhance the speaking abilities of ESL students. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention and interest in this study.